Aye.
Good to go. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to our meeting for October 5th, 2023. Make a motion to call the meeting to order. On our agenda is a motion to adopt September 7th and September 15th, 2023 council meeting minutes. Moved by Councilor Earl Barrett, second by Councilor Vince McGraw. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. We have a motion to adopt October the 5th, 2023 council meeting agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Eric Nippert, second by Councilor Barrett. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Under financial now, I'll turn it over to our finance committee and they'll bring forward.
Okay, I'd like to propose a motion to approve invoices for August in the amount of $158,935.05.
We heard a motion brought forward by Councilor Barrett. We have a seconder. Second by Councilor Vince McGraw. Do you have any discussion on those invoices?
I had a point that I wanted to raise about I think there's a payment there for $50 for cash.
Yep.
For moving a state.
Yep.
I'd like to see us now and moving forward indicate any cash payments with the name of the individual cash is paid to. I think cash is subject to more scrutiny when it comes to dealings with councils and the like. So I just would like to see that put into practice.
You mean on the,
Yes. I see no reason why I couldn't. If we make a cash payment to an individual, it should be open as to who.
this was to an individual who helped us out at the 11th hour. We had a church, we could not get the safe out of the back of the pickup truck. We didn't have a forklift here, we didn't have a crane. Now to hire a forklift or a crane to come lift that sucker would cost a lot more than $50. So Mo said to me, I was there at the time, I just happened to come in, they were trying to
Purple
unload.
said to you.
And I helped, three of us couldn't move. So Mo said, well, I know, I won't say who it was, he said, I know a person who can come over and give us a hand with it, and then the four of us can get it out.
Yeah.
Don't get in front of that man, he didn't need anybody to help him.
Yeah.
Right, the picture
I'm not-
of the arm carried it to the office.
I'm not disputing the charge, and I have no difficulty with the charge. But I think in the interest of transparency, I think it should be fully indicated, payments that are made, cash payments that are made, to who the payment was made.
Now, there is a record in the petty cash, of who it was made.
But would it not be a matter of public record, cash payments made on behalf of council?
I don't know. Not sure, do we?
I could see you get the names in the petty cash, so if there's ever any kind of a doubt, we can go, and here we go, we got it. Putting it on the air, probably, we don't need to do that, I don't think.
It might lead to, I don't know, embarrassment of the individual, it might lead to more questions, I don't know, by putting her name there.
I don't know what the.
Well, what I would suggest is we can ask our CAO to contact, or Florence to contact,
Municipal affairs.
affairs and have that discussion with them
Yeah.
going forward. In that way, if it ever comes up again, we'll know.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think you're allowed to, bring out specific names, probably.
No, I didn't think so either, but I would prefer to have,
Yeah.
And then that way, we know as a council.
The record's there.
Yeah,
So if that's the case, could we
That's
get
why we
something in
got-
writing from municipal affairs to indicate that? By way of guidance,
Yep.
if that is the case?
Just like you get an
Contact
email,
Holly,
I'll contact them.
Yep.
Get an email.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion on the invoices? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under new business, we're gonna start with, we have a request from the Regional Aquatic Center, looking for some additional funding. We have received a letter asking for the states, I am writing to the town of Kipnis for ongoing financial and operational support for the Regional Aquatic Center. We're hoping that the town and council will continue to support this facility as it has done in the past. As is the past again this year, the cost of oil, power, and chemicals for the operation of the facility are increasing and becoming more expensive to maintain this operation. This year, we're asking for a small increase from the previous year, along with 2024 and 2025 commitment of $160,000, which would equal $80,000 a year. So that's the request that come in from the Regional Aquatic Center, from the manager, Tim Alexander.
I would tend to think that we always looked at the regional aquatic centers requests on a year by year basis. We're in the process in the next month or so doing our budget for next year. I would think we would probably make some kind of contribution to the regional aquatic center again. But at this time, I don't think we want to commit ourselves to a certain amount, certainly not for 2 years.
No.
So I think we should leave that for review by our budget committee.
Okay, so what we'll do is, we'll get, our town clerk just to respond to the letter and stating basically what Councillor Derek House just stated. And that, we'll be in touch, or they can get in touch with us again in the near future, because we are gonna be doing our budget. Go ahead, Councillor House.
Can I make a point, because I think when we had the discussion, there was some debate as to whether or not we would increase from 50,000 to 75,000 last time.
Yep.
And I believe now, we can look at the minutes and see how it's reflected. But I believe that the decision was taken that we would increase it from our contribution of 50,000 to 75,000, with the understanding that that was for 1 year, and that it wasn't to be considered our normal request. And I believe the letter, the way it's written from the Regional Aquatic Center, just talks about a small increase over last year, the 75 that we gave them. But it was my understanding, and then hopefully those of the other councillors, that that was by exception only, that we upped it from 50,000 to 75,000.
And that's why we want to take a more detailed look at it, just to see where it fits in the other requests we have too, because, I mean,
Within budget.
yeah, we don't know what our budget is going to be looking like. I mean, last year we did have to, in order to keep our tax rates from changing, we had to go to our reserves.
Yeah.
So, are we going to be in that situation again this year? We don't know yet, so.
No.
It's a little early to commit.
It is, yeah. And like I said, it's something that they can, and then also we can request the information that we're gonna need from them, their financials, all that
Right.
type of things. So it gives us a lot more to look at to make a more informed
Can
decision.
we request, actually an appearance by Mr. Alexander, like everybody else who does it, to come in and answer our questions?
He stated before, he's more than happy to come in and sit down and have a discussion with the council at any point in time.
If
Well,
we
that'd
see
be
it's
great.
necessary, we may not need it.
No, it's just an option.
Go ahead.
That's a discussion that I had with Mr. Alexander myself, that would be useful for him to come in and sit with council. Present what their situation is and why the costs are what they are. And, answer questions as frankly as he possibly can.
Yeah.
And
So we can
as-
arrange that.
As Mayor knows what he said, there's no reluctance whatsoever, so just give him the time and the date, and he'll come in.
Well, that's great, I mean, that's all I'm asking,
So for the-
Fair game.
It'd be nice if it could be done before we get into approving budget, which has to be done by the 1st of December.
Yeah. So again, we'll just send out another letter, or do you want to make a call to? Okay, so our deputy mayor will make a call to Mr. Alexander and explain the situation here tonight, and take care of that for us. We have a request from the Stevenville Taekwondo Club for donation in the amount of $5,000. Now, memory serves me correct, from our last council meeting, we were over budget on our budget donations. Is that correct? Well over budget. So it's unfortunate at this time that we're receiving this request so late, but I will put it to the floor if someone want to make a motion. And
Excuse me, that's for, next year's budget. That's why they have the letter in. They're asking that before.
oh, that's for next year.
They're looking for next year?
Yeah,
I don't have the letter here, so
24.
they're asking
Oh,
to have
okay.
it, put in the budget for 2024.
Oh, okay.
Well, we could do the same process.
We'll do the same process. We'll, send a letter to them stating that we're gonna need financials and things like that, and then we'll look at it during our budget process for this year, for next year. Number 3 on our new business, budget. 2 minutes.
Well, I'm sure by now, conversation earlier, you're all aware that we had a budget training session today in Corner Brook. So we got 4 budget specialists there on the council. And I'd say the budget will probably be done in a couple of days. Believe it or not.
Let the record
But-
show.
Yeah, but the last couple of meetings, I have been emphasizing that we really need to get our budget figures in. Let's not be late this year. I mean, last year we had no choice. We were late getting started, but we can't use that excuse this year. So think about what we need to do, what capital works we're planning for the upcoming year, what the fire department needs, what the recreation committee needs, and let's get all that in as quickly as possible. I'd certainly like to have everything for the middle of October.
Okay. All right, so you heard the request from Mr. Barrett, so we can all get on board and do as quickly as possible. So make sure we get our budget in the timely manner.
And these should be channeled to our CAO.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he will be.
But in different committees that people are
Yeah.
sitting on, they know, and then you just bring it forward to our CAO.
Let our CAO know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be talking.
Yeah.
Shit.
Capital expenditures on our new business. Capital expenditures purchase. That's the purchase of the,
Progress.
or the loader.
Now that I don't have a problem with.
We'll put that on the agenda.
I mean, we purchased the truck and the fire.
Yeah, that was already on. We requested that to be on the agenda.
Offhand, I don't know, but I didn't get a request. I think
We
we
could, get a little update on the purchase of the new loader.
Okay.
That's what I assume now.
Yeah, our CAO has been keeping on top of that.
Yeah.
It's only been there 2 weeks, man.
If I could interrupt for a moment, maybe before we do that, we can jump number 5 up to where we are now, so that folks know who we're talking to.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, we hired a new chief administrative officer / town manager. And I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Justin Chin. Justin comes with a lot of experience in municipal governance and running. Worked at the town of St. George's for 10 years. And I think he's definitely going to be a benefit to the town. He's shown his impact already, 2 weeks in. So town, Mr. Chin, town.
Welcome aboard, Justin.
Thank you.
So, would you like to give us a synopsis of the capital expenditures purchase that we were discussing?
That's no problem, yeah, I've seen some specs that came here from 3 different suppliers, actually.
Okay.
I went back because there were a couple of small details on some of the equipment that they didn't have available. So I went back to all 3, actually. 2 of them fit pretty much everything that's needed. There's a third party there that can't fulfill part of the service contract, as far as I'm concerned, just because they're so far away. They're not within a local area.
Okay.
So, but there are 2 machines pretty much right on par with one another, very close prices, so it's pretty much ready for council, I guess, to decide whether it be finance or lease, purchase, or whichever what they want to do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So whether we lease or purchase, we still have to get approval from the minister.
That was one thing we sort of learned today, but I'm not really sure if that applies to, I think that was more for if we're going to capital
Capital
works.
works funding.
That's the last gist I got from that.
Okay.
We should have to check and make sure, but that was the last gist that I got. If we were purchasing, using capital works, money to buy equipment or money for certain projects, and we had to borrow money to do it, yes, we would had to have an approval from, the minister actually.
Okay.
But I think if we're using our own funding, we're not relying on loans. I think that, we may not be required that, but we only, like I say, heard this today.
Yeah.
So.
If we're not purchasing it right, we will be getting a loan or leasing
Yes,
depending
one or
on.
the other, yes, one or
Which way
the other,
is
but the
better.
trick is,
Yeah,
you have to get their approval to do that,
Yeah.
but that could delay us a while.
Yeah.
But if we know that we don't have to, then we can pretty well move on quickly.
Is there any process whereby towns such as us can avail of any offers or opportunities that the provincial government may have to get a better price on equipment, because they tend to purchase more?
Yeah, there is the option to go through Canoe, which is one supplier actually went that route. All three suppliers that supplied, two of them are on Canoe's website. I know off the hop from purchases from previous town I was with, as soon as you tell them that you're with a municipality, they automatically drop off like 15%, or I can't remember the exact figure, but as soon as you tell them you're here from a municipality, they got a different GST number or something that they use, and they automatically say, oh, you're government. Or this price, as opposed to a private contractor, is this price.
Just a thought.
And it's almost like a built-in thing that they automatically say, oh, yeah, we got a rate from government because we're selling to government.
So you really don't see that in the invoice then, it's just automatically.
They automatically, as soon as you tell them where you're from, they automatically say, oh,
Okay.
they know this is a price.
So you feel it's reflected in the quotes that
believe
they
it is,
gave
yeah.
us, okay. Just a thought that
Yeah.
there might be some way to avail of that.
I had never heard of this until a few months ago, but it seems that this is the way it works, and it takes you away from having to do public tenders.
Yes.
Yes,
And this, you know,
Yeah.
because you're hard to get the specs you want in a tender that people can bid on. So this way you got an idea what you want, you hear from the suppliers, and if they're part of this Canoe. And it's short for, I don't know what it stands for, but
it's a longer word. Canadian,
it's something that the municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador has on their website that they suggest we use. So, and I know for a fact that these guys are familiar with it, the two of the three companies are, and that they used it and quoting prices to us, so.
Okay, also, Justin, if you don't mind, could you double check with making sure we don't have to get ministerial approval?
yes. Well,
And then that way we can move forward, right?
Should we have a separate meeting on this center and wait for the next council meeting?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, there's a little bit of urgency
Yes.
to this process.
Yes,
Once he gets the information, we can.
Yeah.
but there is a lead time on equipment
Oh, yeah.
itself, right?
We want the snow to catch us.
No,
That's
correct.
Maybe early this year.
Not-
Okay, moving on now, we're gonna move into our permits, so I'll turn it over to our committee for the,
Okay, we have 3 requests this month for sheds. Actually, they're all the same, request to build sheds. So I'll bunch them all together. One is at 15 Millbrook Lane, one at 24 Spruce Drive, and one at 269, 279 Kippens Road. And they're all in compliance. I would recommend that we approve these 3 permits.
okay, heard a motion brought forward by Councillor Derek House, and a seconder,
Second,
second by Councillor Brian House. Any discussion?
Who follows up on this? I know you go and they give you their site plan. But,
And
I mean, who prevents them from moving afterwards?
well, we hadn't had the staff to sort of look into that in the past. We're hoping with our new CAO, maybe he'll just follow up on it randomly even, just to check on these. But according to the plan submitted, they're all, taking in the
Yes.
yardage, side yards, whatever, that's all taken into account. So if they're done according to plan, it certainly will. But if we find one is not, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But we would, I think, probably put something in place where we just randomly check at least the
Yes,
percentage
because,
of.
it has happened.
Oh, yes, it has happened, unfortunately.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Continue on, Councillor House.
And that's all we have for permits, yeah.
Okay, under additional business?
Oh, this is, okay, additional, we have a piece of property that, this- okay. We have a piece of property that is actually too small to use for construction. It consists of only about 7,000 square feet. Somebody is requested to purchase that property. So, the town clerk has arranged for an appraisal of the property. And after his review, he came up with a figure that this property could be sold for. So, with permission of council, we will offer the property to this person for that price. And proceed with the sale. It
Okay.
is, right now,
I wasn't sure that was what this was
Yeah.
about, but it's my understanding,
We ran this before.
yeah, it's my understanding with any land like that, that the town has and we're gonna get rid of, it has to be auctioned.
so we should go through the auction.
Right, so I already discussed this with Flummer, she's gonna contact municipal affairs again and double check it, but that's who I spoke to at one, this was a while ago. But that's who I spoke to, and that was the direction that I was given, is that it would have to be put up for auction.
Would we set if we have
have a
appraised
price,
value now,
Yes,
would we set a minimum,
Yes.
minimum bid? I would think, otherwise we would end up getting much less than the value.
we can set a minimum bid of what we're expecting, if we don't get it, we don't have to sell it. But according to her, it has to go on auction for everyone to have the same opportunity to make the purchase, right? Even though it's only gonna be good to that, probably to that gentleman, but at least in, our bases are covered and we're covered as a town. And we're both being fully compliant in what we should be.
And then the end result may be the same if we end up setting a minimum bid at being the appraised value, then
Yeah.
the town would realize at least that amount.
We should stipulate that the residents cannot build them.
Well, that's correct, because you need, 15,000 square feet.
Yeah.
So there's no one, the town would not issue permits then,
No.
for someone to build another.
So that'll be checked by Florence, like Warren. Or Justin, whichever, and so once we get that, then we can get that. added into
Well,
it.
So we would advertise, I guess, I don't know, through paper or Facebook?
Now just post a couple places around
Yeah.
town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we post one in like a local business on our website, and even one here in the office
Would be it, okay.
would satisfy the,
Would you post it on the flashing board down there on the street?
If it was on Facebook, it would probably come up there.
No,
No.
I think that's a good idea.
okay. Committee reports. So I'm gonna start here to my left with Deputy Mayor Eric Nippert.
Covered HR. That's all I had to report.
Okay,
I've done.
Councilor McGraw.
The only thing is, I'm proud to announce we received a rescue vehicle. It's, hopefully what we need, what we want, and what the fire department needs and wants.
Okay.
So, I guess there's gonna be official,
Yeah, I think we should have an official presentation of some sort, maybe on Saturday,
okay,
right?
okay.
Get the fire, to some people from the fire department. And we just make the official presentation, and any public who wish to attend, they can attend and
So I
have a
think-
look at the vehicle for themselves and.
Yes, that would be nice, and I would assume we'll advertise on Facebook or somewhere. Okay, well,
How
that's
did
good.
it look,
Excellent.
in person? It looked good, obviously from the pictures that we had. I didn't get to see it myself.
No, same here, I was in.
No, she was, what they advertised,
Has anybody seen it firsthand?
yes, I have.
Okay, you did.
And Mr. Chin.
Good?
Good shape.
Oh, and Mrs. Josie.
Okay,
Okay, the last name, second.
While we're talking about the fire vehicle, I'd like to thank Councilor McGraw for all the work he did on locating and arranging to have that vehicle delivered here.
yes.
Good job.
Thanks.
Councilor House.
We touched on the, purchase of the loader and, that's about it.
Okay.
Finance, yeah. We did not have a meeting this month with the maintenance staff. Mostly because, they were taking turns going away on holidays. So we'll get back at that next month.
Okay.
It's not a committee report. But can I bring something up since I'm talking already?
You certainly can.
The recreation committee.
Mhm.
I'd just like to congratulate the members of the recreation committee for the fantastic job that they did here this summer for the summer youth program. It's Rosie Ryan, Norma Childs, Josie Noseworthy, Colleen Ryan, Martha Wall, Jeanette French, Carrie Chasson, Terry White, Bev Rose, and all the volunteers that they had working for. I think they did a fantastic job. And I think when they do that, or anybody does that in this town, we should certainly recognize the effort that they put in.
Certainly.
Speaking of recreation committee, I think we're gonna have a look and see what we're gonna do in terms of a recreation committee for the coming year. With some of these members, or I don't know how many.
And we're always asking for people to come out and volunteer their time. I know for some people it's hard, but you know, if you can do it, come out and participate. You know, you will get some enjoyment out of it.
Definitely.
And, you know, so the members that we have there have been longtime members and steady members, you know. They don't just come and go, they were there and they're still there. So it would be nice to get some new blood just to help out. That being said, I also like to bring up and ask the public if anyone has any interest in sitting on council, now that we ran our by-elections and still haven't got anyone. I had that discussion this evening before I left municipal affairs office. And so what we can do now, if there's anyone out there that has any interest, they can contact the office itself, one of the councillors, whatever they feel more comfortable doing. We get their information and their name, and if they're interested, then we take that information and discuss it amongst ourselves, and then we make our recommendation to the minister, and then we can get approval to appoint. So if there's anyone out there that has any interest, please come forward. Or if anyone knows of anyone that wants to put their, like if you know of someone that you might want you to put their name in because they don't feel like coming forward, it can be done that way also. So it would be nice to get our 7th member so we can have our complete council again.
Maybe, could something be put on that billboard sign that we have up there, just to indicate that we have a vacancy, or
Yeah.
looking for volunteers?
Yeah.
For council, because that's what it amounts to, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we can definitely have that put on
And on
our Facebook
town
town website. Yeah.
website page,
Yeah.
Facebook, because the more people that know it, at least then it becomes a fair process. And
Exactly, yeah.
Hopefully we get more interest in it than we have spots.
Okay, that's it for me. So now I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Sorry. Thank you, Councillor House, Brian House. Our next meeting, then I can get my calendar.
The meeting sensor over there.
Just give me a second to get my calendar there now and we'll find out.
Yeah, anybody wants to.
Of November?
Should we have a date for a budget meeting?
Enjoy the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join in.
Uh,
Well, if you can't, you can't, you
yeah,
know,
no, I'm thinking of some.
because it would be the November the 2nd would be our next meeting. Okay. We'll still have it, warm.
That's still on Thursday, though.
Yes, yeah, so November 2nd.
And that's back to the 6:30 time, or?
Yes, back to the 6:30 time. It's only changed this time because we were all in Corner Brook today.
Yeah.
Coming in.
Monday and Tuesday, you can have for me. Yeah.
Preliminary budget meeting for October the 19th.
I'll be here for that one.
At what time?
What time, Councillor Barrett?
Well, if you, well, my answer was 7 o'clock, that's what we're here. Is that good for everybody? Earlier,
6:30.
6:30.
Some o'clock, new plan.
All right, so, motion to adjourn.
So.
Moved by Councillor, or Deputy Mayor Eric Lippert, second by Councillor Brian House, or Derek House. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
If you're going out of town, Vince, and you got.
We're still alive,
something,
Councilor,
did you get it?
Councilor.
No, I think I'm live, fourth, you'll be fine. No, it should be around.
Well,
I'll
originally.
be talking to,
Brian,
Mr. Chief now.
and Brian, and then they adjourned the second time.